Hello, everybody. This is the 7th Rules video series on Star Trek convention, specifically the 55-year mission in Las Vegas. We're here, of course, with Sirach Lofton and Melissa Longo.
Hello, hello.
And we're joined by David A. Takechi. How are you, David?
Great, great.
So first things first, we don't go easy on anybody. What's your favorite Star Trek series?
You know, it's really tough, and I don't know how many people answer this way, but there's something good about all of them. My favorite one is the one I'm watching right now. That's the best way I can answer. So I happen to be watching Deep Space Nine, but I'm kind of running out of the rewatch, so I may be going to Voyager after that. So then that'll be the one.
And you were saying you have an interesting way of rewatching Deep Space Nine, right?
Well, yeah, since I've seen them all, I watched seasons 5 to the end, and I jumped back to 2, and I think I may jump back to 1 after that, just because I feel like I haven't caught up quite yet on some of those, or I've seen them before, but it's been a long time.
What makes you decide to do the rewatch?
Part of it is, it's been a couple years since we've been at the convention. I know I'm going to see a lot of you guys there, and I always do some kind of rewatch leading up to that. Be honest with you, I've run out of shows right now, so we're in that
Check
zone.
Out Sweet Tooth.
Really?
No.
Is that on Netflix?
No. I don't know about that. Yeah, that's a right recommendation.
It's on Netflix. It's a little weird. But anyway.
Right. Well, and I always come back to it. I mean, there's always times when I come back to it, and it's enjoyable to watch. And so, yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
So would you do that with Voyager as well? Would you jump into season 4 of Voyager, like if you were doing a rewatch of Voyager?
Yeah, Voyager is very similar to Deep Space Nine. I think I would start with 3 maybe, or, I just jump around because I've seen them all before many times. So it's kind of something you come back to, and there's a few that I would watch from straight through from the beginning, but I think Voyager and Deep Space Nine are 2 that I would jump around.
So get out your seat. Thanks.
Jump around.
I should say with Deep Space Nine, you can't jump around at some point. You have to, when you start with 5, you kind of have to go through. That's why I did it that way.
Right. We're right now in the middle of season 5 in our reviews, right, Strzok? It's just starting to get hairy.
What episode are you
on? 14. Episode number 14. Yes. But the thing about it is you kind of have to watch them in order, because at this point now the storylines are getting so that if you didn't watch the last week's episode, you don't know that Odo's not a changeling anymore, or something. It's pretty pertinent pretty pertinent information.
Wouldn't make sense. Yeah,
it wouldn't make sense. So it's kind of like at this point, I'm stuck where I have to watch it in order, especially now in the 5th season.
Right. So, David, you said that you are in San Diego.
That's right.
How much do you love it, and how long have you been there?
Well, I've permanently lived here since '96. I grew up in Central California.
Oh, cool.
So where? I do love it quite a bit more than that. But I don't know. It's interesting. There's a lot to do down here. There's not quite as much to do in LA. It's a little more quiet. But I'm just sort of a kind of laid back person, and I don't really need more than a few good restaurants and a few good breweries. So.
Where were you? Modesto, Bakersfield, Fresno? Okay. But anyway, let's talk about the Star Trek.
Isn't that's your neck of the woods, Ryan, right?
Well, watch your mouth. I'm not from Modesto. No, I'm from the Bay Area. I'm from the Bay Area,
well,
so
I was
pretty
born
close.
in the Bay Area, and I ended up in Fresno.
Oh, cool. Right.
In fact, to segue for you, the first Star Trek convention I ever went to was in Fresno.
Really?
They have Star Trek conventions in Fresno?
During the height of the TNG time in the mid 80s, or the mid to late 80s, I think, when it was really getting going, everybody was into it. They had three. One Marina Sirtis came out, one Michael Dorn came out, and another one Gates McFadden came out. And I went to all three of them because they were just kind of at a hotel down by the train tracks. So I went over there and just checked it out.
That is train tracks.
I've been to that convention center. I've been at that convention center. There's like these train tracks, and then you like park kind of on the other side of the train tracks, I think. There's like a parking thing. Anyway. Yeah, Lolita.
So you've been going to conventions since the 80s, huh? Since the mid 80s?
Well, actually, my dad took me to, now that I think about it, my dad took me to a convention in Anaheim before that. I just remembered that. Way long ago when it was just the original series around. This was before Next Gen came out. So that was one. I mean, I was so young, my dad had to take me. It was at the Disneyland Hotel, actually.
Wow.
Interesting one.
Yes, Sirach, remember Lolita told us something about how they used to do conventions throughout California's Central Valley, I should say. But I forgot and Lolita was working on that, but I forgot what the company name was. But she did mention it.
Event Horizon or something like that.
Yeah, or just Horizon, maybe.
Horizon, maybe.
Sounds familiar.
Horizon.
Funny story about the Michael Dorn visit. When I went up to him and asked, or I think he was on stage and he told everybody, I don't know if you guys remember, but he was really into flying.
Yeah.
Planes.
Yeah.
And he said he flew into that convention. He flew his plane to Lemoore Naval Air Station somehow.
Whoa.
I don't know, somewhere around there. And then he drove up the half an hour or whatever to get to Fresno and went to that convention. So
that's so cool.
Yeah.
You know, the first convention I went to actually was in Sacramento. And the three guests that were there were Marina Sirtis, Michael Dorn, and Jonathan Frakes. And Dorn was up with Marina, and I had never seen any interviews with them. I had no idea. Marina was so sassy until I saw her up there just tearing Dorn down the whole time. And he's talking about, flying and how much he loves it. And she's just mocking him and tearing him up. And then Jonathan Frakes comes up and just brings down the house. Even though they only had 3 Star Trek actors for that entire convention, they were so entertaining. They really put on a great show, and we left very happy for our 2-hour drive. Do you remember the first time somebody put on a big show at a convention or really left an imprint on you, David?
I went to one of Creation's early conventions in Pasadena. I don't know if you guys remember that one or not. But
was it the Grand Slam?
Grand Slam,
that's
yeah.
exactly what it was.
Yeah.
And it was actually either during or shortly after DS9's 7th season because Nicole DeBoer was there. So it has to have been. It was a big deal. Nicole and Terry were both there.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first convention that had a tremendous amount of guests and a big vendor's room. And you could walk through the vendor's room and see people signing at their table and walk up and talk to them. And I was still very nervous, but I just went into the auditorium and watched the folks and took pictures and had a great time just hearing their stories for the first time, really. So that was it. I think I went in 1995 or 94 or somewhere around there.
Wow.
Yeah, that was my first convention too. My first convention was the Pasadena convention, Creations Pasadena convention, and I do remember it being a big deal because I think there was 4 captains at the time, and they had all 4 captains, and it was a big deal. I was like, wow, this is all going on. It was. I had never been to a convention before, just to see that many people gathered together and. Costume contest, trying to break the world record of costume contest, which I think they try to do every year. And
yeah, I remember that. Yeah. And the Germans
Yeah,
beat
and-
us one year, and they're like, "You got to beat the Germans." I remember that.
Yeah, so they rally up all the costumers and all the cosplay and just try to get it all together. And but I just remember how big it was, and I was like, "Well, this is a whole world unto itself." It's like Star Trek is one world, just being on the set and doing the thing, but the convention world was a whole nother world. Like it's like it's the same way that the internet is another world now, right? It's like, oh wow, there's all this stuff happening online and these chat rooms and these, comment section and da 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 da. It's like a whole nother world online. And that's the same way I felt when I discovered the conventions for the first time. I'm like, wow, there's this whole world here where people dress up and their uniforms look just like the real one, and
Yeah.
they've got they got the com badges, they got the little tricorders, they got everything, and then all the dealers and all the the vendors that were set up, and I was thinking, wow, this is just like a whole world, just kind of like the comic book world is its own world, because I understood the comic book collecting world. So when I saw it applied to Star Trek, it just made me say, wow, this is pretty big.
So
Is that the
being,
farthest you? Oh,
yeah.
no, sorry,
I was
Melissa.
gonna ask. No, so being a convention veteran, is there something that is your favorite thing to do at conventions?
For me,
Yes, you.
uh,
Well, I guess we're all
Well-
veterans, but I think yeah.
yeah. Well, it's funny, after that Grand Slam, I had a great time. I mean, I think you might have even been there, Sirach. I just don't remember, so long ago. It wasn't something that it was on my list of things that I sort of had to do every year. And I always loved Star Trek, but I didn't go to any conventions after that, just for whatever reason. From then all the way to 2015. And
Wow.
it wasn't that I didn't like Star Trek. I just, convention going wasn't my thing, I guess. And then on a whim in 2015, I went to the Vegas convention. I saw it in an ads or something, and I had some vacation time from work. And I said, I'm going to go to that. And it happened to be something with Voyager, I think, that year. And I had such a different kind of great time that time. And this is going to answer your question, Melissa. That I started to meet people, friends, and make contacts, and people that I wouldn't see possibly till the next convention. So I had to go back to the next convention and back to the next convention. And a few of them I met live in LA, and so I have been able to see them periodically. At least before the pandemic, I've gone up and back a lot.
Can you give a few shout outs?
Well, I met John Champion, if you've heard of him. He's a good guy. He's a friend. I met Larry Nemechek. You've had him on the show, I'm sure, before. And a lot of others that don't have podcasts or anything like that. So those are a couple of the guys I've met I could give shout outs to, I guess, safely. Yeah.
So really
no,
just
it's fun.
no, please continue.
No, and then so it grew into more of a possibility of making actual friendships of people with things in common, especially the people that live in LA. I'm able to, at least when travel is a thing, I'm able to go up a lot and come back, maybe a little too much. So anyway, that's kind of what keeps me going back now. What really is the highlight, I think, was your question, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people
Just
more and
you guys
more
too.
seem to be saying that like they just want to keep coming back for the camaraderie and the friendships that they make and meeting more people. It's just kind of like a vibe there of seeing old friends and making new friends, all under the umbrella of Star Trek and people like Sirach providing the entertainment value, like seeing people and meeting these people and watching your favorite Star Trek stars up on stage. It really is a special thing. Kind of captures lightning in a bottle somehow, and we can't really explain it, but we'll keep trying.
It's very much like family.
Yeah.
Maybe, somewhere a little bit below your brother, but somewhere above a friend,
Depends on your brother. Mine's kind of weird. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
Actually, my brother went to the first Star Trek Las Vegas convention with me, but he hasn't gone since. It sucks because I want him to come because he loves Star Trek, but never comes to the conventions. So one of these days, he'll be back. You were saying, Sirach?
No, I was going to ask David if there's anything that you like to collect in particular, or if anything that you have collected that you treasure.
Oh, he's reaching for it.
If it's in reaching distance,
it doesn't like my stuff in the background. I like it in the foreground so I can see it. But I started buying these things at the convention quite a while ago. They're the Eagle Moss ships. You can get this one up
Eagle
close.
Moss.
And I went a little overboard, I'll have to say. In fact, I had to buy these IKEA floating, cat things. I guess I had to hammer into the wall, and I've run out of space. And so I may have to box some up if I'm going to buy any more. Just because I'm really into the ships.
Do you ever build the models?
No, not really. I'm not the building kind of engineer. Different kind of engineer. So, but what do you guys? Do you guys collect anything? I don't know.
Yeah,
just pass it right back to us.
I was a big collector, so I grew up collecting baseball cards, and football cards, comic books. We talked about Garbage Pail Kids in one episode.
Yeah.
Saw that one.
Yeah.
Oh, you saw that?
So,
yeah, it's when you were pulling up a Garbage Pail Kid for everybody that equated to.
I can't believe it took us this long to think of that.
Yeah, so I've always been like and then I collect silly things like wallets. I like
other people's or your own?
No, other people, just the wallet itself.
I'm just collecting them.
I'm just collecting your wallet. What do you mean? I'm not doing anything. I like. I don't know why I like wallets. I like sunglasses or glasses in general. I don't know. I'm kind of weird about my collection of stuff.
What do you think of my wallet? Stylish. It's vegan.
Nice, and it's got that tan like strip on the end.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I like that it just has that one simple little strip. Everything else.
Yeah.
Anyway, what do you collect, Melissa?
I don't really collect anything right now.
Cat hair.
Yes. I did used to collect Garbage Pail Kids, but that's probably the only collection I ever. Yeah, I don't really collect things.
We'll think of something.
Nice.
Yeah, I definitely collected a lot of baseball cards and football cards and basketball cards. I think I still have all of them. And even though now they're just not worth anything. And I collected a lot of Garbage Pail Kids, a few comics. Yeah. Well, Dave, we've got a few minutes left here. Are you going to the 55-year mission in Las Vegas this year?
As of now, yes. I'm planning to. I've got the time off.
Nice.
I've got the hotel. I've got everything. So I'm vaccinated. I'm ready to go, and I'm ready to enjoy myself. So, yeah. I should be there. Mm-hmm. Are you? I'm assuming all of you. Are you guys going to be there? Or?
Oh yeah,
we'll see you there.
Well, I mean, I know Sirach is for sure because he's a guest of
it. you could actually go online and check and verify that he's going.
If they say I'm coming, I'm coming.
Right.
Yeah, we're going. We're all going.
Good. Yeah, it's going to be really good. I think we're all excited. There's a little bit more of an anticipation, I think, in this particular Vegas convention than there has been in a real long time because of the fact that we've all been isolated so long, and people are really hungry for human interaction and getting back to the things that we used to normally do that makes us feel like things are normal. And this will definitely be one of those things that brings back some normalcy to our lives and also gives us that social non-distance that allows us to kind of gin up those friendships and experience life together again.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's just about all the time we have. But David, when we see you there, come by and say hello. Go
Will
say
do.
hi at Sirach's table or Melissa's table or wherever we all are. You'll see us. You'll especially see Sirach. He's 7'3", and he'll be wearing a.
I'll be looking.
I've got a picture of me, Sirach, and Aaron. And what's funny is we're in order, and it looks like the cell phone bars.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny. God
Oh,
bless
that's great.
Aaron.
Yeah.
All right.
So we'll look forward to seeing you, David. I'll be keeping my eye out for you.
Mhm.
If there's a guy holding a bunch of eagle moss figurines, I know who it is.
Good idea.
All right. Well,
Sweet.
thank you so much, David. Everybody at home, we hope to see you in Star Trek Las Vegas. And if not, then we hope to see you at a local Comic-Con or another Star Trek convention, possibly one in Chicago this coming April. Right? There's something coming.
Or in the comments section below somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might
Let
see
us
you there.
know. Let us know in the comments section below if you are going to Vegas and Chicago or any others that are coming up. Let us know and we'll see you there. Maybe. We'll see you next time on The Seventh Rule.